a lot of people take a look, as Lucas was just pointing out, at the economic numbers, and when the president keeps telling them they're not so bad, some of them might have very choice adjectives and words they use to describe the economy. Not so much those of faith and religious type voters who try to spare people of that kind of language, but they are concerned right now. And the fact of the matter is, among evangelical voters, they harken back to the days of Donald Trump. Say whatever you will about him and his style of leadership. They miss the better economic times. Steve Scheffler is the president of the Iowa Faith and Freedom Coalition. Steve, very good to have you. How are your, rank and file evangelical voters, if I can call them that, feeling about conditions in the economy right now?
I think that they know that it's not good. We had record high inflation earlier, and I think that they understand that the Biden administration is not doing anything to correct things. So they're very concerned about it. And it is one of the top issues among evangelicals.
Steve, you've not made a decision yet on who to support. Why?
Well, first of all, by the bylaws of the Republican Party of Iowa, we're forbidden to endorse anybody before the caucuses. And the reason we do that is because we want to give a fair, level playing field for all the candidates to come here and make their case to the voters. So that's the reason. Okay,
Bob Vander Plaats, the presidency of the family leader, has come out and has been for some time for Ron DeSantis. What did you think of that?
Well, first of all, if you look at the history of endorsements, Neil, in Iowa, they don't go very far. I actually was on the staff of Bob Dole back in '95 and '96. 95% of all the Republican state legislators, then Governor Branstad, Senator Grassley, endorsed Mr. Dole, and in spite of that, he only won the caucuses by 3 percentage points. And then if you look at 8 years ago, when then Governor Branstad said, vote for anybody except Ted Cruz, because of the ethanol thing, that endorsement didn't mean. And in reference to the one that you just mentioned, if you look at that Iowa poll, the Seltzer poll, 13% said that was a good endorsement, 13% said it was not a good endorsement, 74% said it didn't really matter. So at the end of the day, I think Iowans, they may think a lot on a lot of the issues across the board, but they want to make their own decision as to who they're going to support in the Iowa caucuses.
Do the candidates talk to you and say, hey, please, consider me?
Will you repeat that, Neil?
I'm sorry. Do the candidates talk to you and say, Steve, I'd love your support?
Well, naturally, and I may do something after the Iowa caucuses. We'll have to wait and see. But, Iowa is relatively, it has to be a level playing field for the candidates to participate. So, let's put it this way, Neil. Whoever is the nominee will be 150% better than the Joe Biden administration. So we got to get enthusiastically behind our nominee once that nominee is in waiting.
The reason why I mentioned is Vander Plaats said, in an op-ed earlier this week at the Des Moines Register, seemed to want to make nice with Donald Trump, saying, though that the sheer number of Trump haters will never allow him to win the presidency, added that he will remain a friend of the former president even after endorsing Ron DeSantis. It sounds to me like he might be maybe recognizing the distinct possibility Donald Trump will be the party's nominee.
I think you're exactly right, but it didn't help that when Bob went after the president, many, many times over the last several years. So I think he probably is coming to the full realization that Donald Trump probably is going to be the nominee. So it just probably makes political sense on his part that he wants to try to make peace with former President Trump.
All right, such is politics. Steve, always good talking to you. Actually, this is the first time I had the pleasure. Steve Scheffler, the president of Iowa Faith and Freedom Coalition, very, very influential here. And in this case, they're waiting to put that to use after the caucuses. There's an unusual concept.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.